All right, great. We are recording. Well, good evening, everybody. It is Monday night, November 12th. We're just coming off of celebrating Veterans Day, and it is just that wonderful harvest time of year. And we are so fortunate tonight. We're going to be energized, I believe, like we never have been before. This is a high energy team, but y'all, we have Miss Sharron Rankin from the Nashville, Tennessee area. She's going to be speaking to us tonight. And what an incredible lady. Sharron has been with the Juice Plus company for over 34 years, which is amazing because she must have started when she was 10, you guys. She was the first national marketing director with the company. They made that position for her, and she was the first to earn over $10,000 in a month. Okay, start taking notes now, right? She says, I always had big dreams. I worked hard before joining in 1984, but kept getting farther and farther behind in life and never seemed to get anywhere financially, rarely earning more than $10,000 in a year. Juice Plus gave me the right model of opportunity and tools to grow beyond my wildest dreams. Today we have freedom, financial freedom, freedom to travel and to spend time with our 4 grandchildren and help other people. And I mean, this lady paints a vision of freedom like no one else. She met her husband, Dave, who we also love. My very first boot camp, you guys, Dave was playing the guitar and singing about this woman named Sharron with 2 R's in her name. And I'm telling you that I was sitting there going, what have I gotten myself into? And a half hour later, as she's talking, I'm writing down, I want to be an NMD. This is so exciting. So he is just amazing. Sharron and Dave are the facilitators of the Kentucky Lakes Boot Camp as well. And her inspirational story has really helped thousands across the country. She shares a message of hope of a better life and enjoys seeing others achieve the success that they are seeking. It just gets better and better. She enjoys family time, teaching about the Bible, gourmet cooking, hiking, gardening, golfing, traveling, and working with Juice Plus. Sharron and Dave were also honored to receive the highest award in our company, not only the Elton Award, but the Founders Club Award. So these are people who have really been foundational to the culture and the mission that we all get to benefit from now. So that being said, Miss Sharron, take it away for us.
Well, thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your call. You shared on our call a little while, a couple months ago, I think it is, or seems like time's zipping by. So it's my pleasure to be here and share this evening, and just love our community. And it's good to see so many beautiful faces and some people that I think I've met before. So I just want to share, I've got to share my story with you, and then a few of what I call the lessons that I've learned along the way. And sometimes I have to go in and clean up my story because people start to embellish it over the 34 years. But I will tell you that when I started in 1984, I was a casualty of what you often hear, that there's 4 Ds. I don't know if you've read the book, The 4 Ds. It talks about debt, disease, divorce, and death. And I was a casualty of 2 of those 4, divorce and debt. Deep in debt, and a mom with the reality that I was going to be a single, broke, stay-at-home mom and not know how to support myself. Doesn't even begin to tell you where I was at the time. Fear in all capital letters would be a great place to start. And anxiety, of course. You have to have that. I have a high school education, no business experience. I never sold anything, even Girl Scout cookies. So I really didn't know what I was getting into. But I will tell you that when a friend asked me a question all those many years ago, did I know of anybody who could use some extra income in my neighborhood or in my community or my town, her company was looking for a few good people. I was certainly all ears, and I wanted to know. Because at the time, my prospect was I was going to go have to live with my mother. And as much as I love my mother, I did not want to live with her at 34 years old with a 14-year-old kid. I just wasn't going to go down. So that's when I discovered our company. Now, the name has changed. 34 years ago, it wasn't called Juice Plus. But while there has been a name change, the character, the leadership has all remained the same. Integrity, quality, excellence, community, those are all still key pieces of what I saw 34 years ago, and I think it's even better today for sure than it was all that time ago. So when I said yes to this mission, and really we didn't even call it a mission, we call it a business opportunity, and it started out of desperation. But when I said yes, I wanted to learn. And while I'm not a numbers person, one of the first things I did was apply myself to learning the income plan, understanding how it worked. And I will tell you, if you do that, and even if I'm not a numbers person, even today, my husband doesn't want to take a phone number from me because I could screw up a number faster than anything. But because I wanted to know, I figured it out. And I could clearly see that I could be a millionaire, that I could create something that was significant beyond anything that I could have ever grasped in my entire life. So I was willing to go to work. And what I did straight off the bat is what we teach today is get off to a fast start. We teach people get off to a good start with the healthy living plan and the 2000 plus and fast start programs. But I actually, in my first 30 days, I went out and I developed 20 customers, much like we're teaching today. And I got off to a really fast start and a solid start. But let me just tell you, you don't have to be good to do this, but you have to and when I always tell people, I let my fear drive me out the door. And I remember, I've told this story before, but it's good to be told. I remember one of the very first presentations I did to my son's baseball coach. I went in, I had a brochure in my hand and our product. And he took the brochure out of my hand. He said, "Here, let me help you." So he had compassion on me and he bought anyway. So you don't have to be good, but you do have to really know what you want to do and you're willing to go out of your comfort zone. So by saying yes all those many years ago, I've moved from being deep in debt to the fear of being a single, broke, stay-at-home mom to now having met and married the man of my dreams. We live in a beautiful, beautiful place. And we do have hope and options beyond anything that we could help. So now, or hope or believe, but now my goal is to help others. You know, I moved from desperation to inspiration, from opportunity to responsibility, because when you know that you know that you know that people are out there praying for an answer every single day, then you have a responsibility. And I will tell you, every time I go to conference, in fact, the conference, three conferences ago, when they released that new research piece on the gene expression, I don't know if anybody remembers what I'm talking about. And Dr. Manford talked about the gene expression and how Juice Plus turns on some 1,600 good genes and turns off some. Okay, I got cold chills, tears started rolling down my face, and I go, how could we not go out and share this message of health and hope? So it is a responsibility. So I thought I would share with you just a few things of the lessons that I have learned along the way. And there have been a lot of lessons, but I'm going to try to take them down just to 3 or 4 or 5 that maybe would help you in your journey for sure. First of all, I have definitely discovered and learned that leaders are readers. And if you don't at least listen to a tape in the car, you don't have to sit down and read a book, but you can put something in the car or you can read. But there are ways to get information and get training in your field. And so some of my favorite authors, I actually made a little bit of a list here that I thought might be helpful. First of all, my first book I go to for everything is the Bible. But then I will tell you, because there's principles in there that never change. They have never changed in over 2,000 years, so they're good to go with. But some of my very favorite authors, John Maxwell, oh my goodness, he's written so many good things and I've learned so much from him. Jim Rohn. I turned my car into a university, to a place where I could get a 4-H or a PhD in personal growth, listening to Jim Rohn. Stephen Covey. One of my favorite books from Stephen Covey is First Things First, and I will tell you that book changed my life. Og Mandino. I don't know if you know Og Mandino or not, but he passed away some years ago. I was privileged to see him speak on stage one time. It was very moving. And then one of my newer authors, Tommy Newberry. He wrote Success is Not an Accident and the 4-8 Principle. So leaders are readers. And then I learned to pay attention. Just pay attention to everything. I've learned to pay attention, and I will tell you, I tell people I now have a PhD in observation. I went from having a high school education to a PhD in observation, but I'll tell you what, it pays off big time if you pay attention to what? First of all, to people. You listen to what people, you watch what people do versus just what they say. But I've also learned to pay attention to what works. And I will tell you, going to conferences and listening to those NMD talks has helped me to pay closer attention to what people are doing, how you can stay current with what is going on. Pay attention. And then I've also learned to, talking to people. We get paid for talking to people. There is no question about it. And I tell there's a great example in the baseball. Some of you, we just finished off the World Series, and I know my son was really happy because the Red Sox won. Some of you may not be so happy, but last month. But in baseball, they put people in the Baseball Hall of Fame for striking out 7 times out of 10. In other words, they go to bat 10 times, they might hit the ball twice or 3 times, yet they get paid millions of dollars and they're put in the Baseball Hall of Fame. That means we talk to people, and a lot of times when we talk to people, we think we're supposed to make every sale, but that is not the case. It's just not going to happen. That's not reality. But if you went out and talked to 10 people a week, a day, ever how many what you set your goals on, then the good things are going to happen. And one of the fun things for me in this business is that I've never run out of people to talk to. 34 years, I'm still adding customers. I'm still shining the light for health and hope. I'm still sharing my business story, how my life has been changed, so that there may be because there's other people out there that are looking for something. So some other lessons that I learned along the way. First of all, your why. Oh my goodness, I heard early on, if the why-to is big enough, the how-to will appear. And your why should move you deeply, in that I always think it should move somebody to tears. Enough emotion, and enough that I want to do this no matter what. Mine was to pay bills and eat, to take care of a 14-year-old child and help him get through the rest of his high school and into college. And so it was strong enough that I was willing to go out of my front door. I was willing to go out of my comfort zone. I was willing to let my fear move me past where I was and not paralyze me. But the why has to be strong. And then I also learned in this business, what you focus on, you will create. Good or bad, if you focus on something long enough, it will magnify in your life. That is a principle. It does not change. And so that's why I like the books like Tommy Newberry wrote, like Success is Not an Accident and the 4-8 Principle. And John Maxwell talks a lot about attitude and what you focus on. And attitude is about, I'd say attitude's about 80 to 90% of our business. Let's say 80%, and activity about 20%, because you can do activity. But if you're not doing with the right attitude, the right countenance, and a right mindset, you will not reap the rewards that you hope to reap. Another thing that I've learned, and I think I said this already, that principles never change. You will reap what you sow. And I just learned that some people will pay attention, some people won't pay attention, and other people are waiting. And so again, don't get hooked up on the ones who are saying no. Come back, circle back around, but always keep adding to your list for sure. And I remember something that John Maxwell said. He said that leaders never get tired of the basics. Boy, we love to go do something new all the time, but the basics of our business, talking to people, creating, attending events, going to conference, being on calls like this tonight. This is a part of your weekly, to do. And so the basics, being a part of the basics. Leaders never get tired of the basics. And I also learned that what John Maxwell, or really Jim Rohn said, that we were to be the change. And I wrote a note here of something he said many years ago. He said, be the change that you want to see in the world. So many people say they want to change the world, or they want to change, but they want to change other people versus themselves. And that comes back to personal growth, being involved in our own mindset growth, helping ourselves grow. And then activity. I cannot say enough about activity of our business, and it is talking to people, it is going to events, it is staying connected, community. And I heard Carrie Radnoff, who's a national marketing director in St. Louis, say that isolation is the greatest enemy of our business. That is so true. Because if you've had a good week, of connections and stories, and you've added some customers or a new team member, the event or your team meeting like this needs your energy. And if you've had a bad week where you've heard a lot of no's, things didn't go so well, you need the event. And that's not Sharron Rankin saying that, that's Jay Martin saying that. I remember Jay Martin, our president, saying that over and over and over again when I got started. If you've had a bad week, you need the meeting. Because we used to do live in-house, in-hotel events every single week. Every week we had to go show up to a meeting, not jump on a Zoom in your comfy of your house or in the comfy of wherever. We got up and we got dressed and we went to meetings. And Jace used to say, if you've had a bad meeting or bad week, the meeting needs you. If you've had a good week, you need the meeting. And that stuck with me, but I cannot reinforce enough that isolation is the greatest enemy of our business for sure. And so there's many lessons that I've learned along the way, but I will tell you that the lesson of gratitude is probably one of the greatest, being grateful for what I do have. And one of the things that I tell my team all the time is be grateful for the customers that you do have. Be grateful for the people who do show up. Be grateful for the no's even, because that's from what we will learn. But gratitude is powerful in our lives, in our businesses, in our community, and it's attractive. So just to encourage you in that, and I believe that when the history books are written, whenever they are, and I told this to Jay not too long ago when we were in Whistler for the, whatever they call that trip, that I know Reagan was there. I think they called it the elite trip for people who are 50 club or over. And that was quite that was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever been on, and I've been to some good things, but that one blew me away. But I remember telling Jay, I said, I remember that you said wisely many years ago when we first introduced Juice Plus that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. He prophetically said when we just introduced Juice Plus and things weren't the best back then, we didn't know where we were going to go with things. But I trusted Jay Martin, and he wisely said and prophetically said the best is yet to come. Well, the best is coming, and it continues to come, and it continues to get better. And these are unique, special times in our business, and I just encourage everybody to take advantage of them. Don't take it for granted like it's going to be here in 3 years or 5 years, or I have all the time in the world to go out there and build a business, because you don't ever want to do, as my husband says, show up in the puking corner. And if you don't know what that is, his puking corner is you meant to talk to somebody, you meant to get around to that person on your list, but you were going to wait till a more convenient time, or you were more successful. And that never happened. And you show up to an event and that person's on the front row with somebody else. And he said, trust me, if that happens, you will go to the puking corner. It does happen to people. So these are good times with our company. And as Jay said, the best is yet to come. And I'm so thankful that all those years ago that I said yes, that I didn't talk myself out of this, that I didn't get complacent and I didn't take it for granted, that it would always be there, but worked hard and invested in what has now turned out to be $1 million plus business. Continues to grow, it continues to give, and continues to bless. And so thank you, Ellen, for having me on this tonight. I hope something I said will be of any help to you guys at all. You guys got great leadership on your team. And I can quote Sean Myers as good as anybody. So, in fact, Sean says, if you don't have it if it's not scheduled, forget it. If you don't have a calendar and it's not scheduled, it's not going to happen. And I agree.
That is right. Oh my gosh. I took so many notes. This was awesome. It is 6:52. So with your permission, I would love to get a couple questions in there. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay. You've got a question you'd like to ask. Oh, you'll have to unmute yourselves. I muted everybody.
I'd like to ask a question.
Okay. Sandra, hey.
Hi. Thank you for being here tonight. So I'd like you to kind of maybe dig deep a little bit on when you started with your Juice Plus business, like where you found kind of most of your success. Were you focused on customers or were you focused on team? What was your secret sauce?
Well, you have to know that my story is a little bit different in that I started before Juice Plus was introduced. But my secret sauce has always been go and do what I love to do and be involved in the community, be out meeting people. And so we really started by adding customers. We didn't know what else to do. I had some team already, of course, from being in the business for a while, but I continue to see the secret sauce as customer acquisition, in involving them in the community, you know, embracing them into the community so that they become raving fans and they want to join your mission. That I don't see any other way to do it. You know, now there's some people, I think they would say about 5% of those people who become distributors do so on the spot, but the majority become a customer first and then they join the mission. But how quick can you, and I say you can do that in your first 4 months for sure, is involve them in the community events, social things, how can we best serve them, and then bring them to a raving fan. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
That is great. That is great. I'll ask a question. Oh, I'm getting some feedback. Sorry. What do you think really kept you going at times that were, you know, we all go through frustrations, we go through ups and downs. You know, you guys went from that transition of water filters to Juice Plus, which had to be enormous. Like, what was really that driving factor for you?
Well, for me, Ellen, it would have been belief in Jay Martin. I mean, when back then with that transition was as hard as it was, and it was brutal. We lost a lot of people. People were negative. And when you transition from one series product line to another, it's not easy. So trust me, you guys have the best you've ever had. It is the best right now it has ever been. But I believed in Jay. I learned to protect my mindset, to protect my environments and not let people be negative around me. And I just kept, you know, staying connected. I stayed connected to the people who were positive, who did believe, and who were willing to, and that's really when a mastermind team was formed, of which I'm a part of, and Jennifer's a part of today. That's when we formed a team of people to like learn and grow and what's working for you and how can we help each other get better. So in team together, everyone does achieve more. So we came across lines. None of us were in the same organization. Several of us, 8 or 9 of us, came across lines that had been in the business. We linked arms and we figured out how to make it work. So again, when I say isolation is the greatest enemy, we didn't go off in a corner somewhere. We stayed connected to the community and we dug in. Pure and simple.
That is fantastic advice. Kathy, did you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned something, Sharron. You said desperation, and then you mentioned to inspiration, and then you had another 2 words that captured me, but I missed it, and I didn't get
I moved from I moved from opportunity to responsibility.
That's what it
Is
is.
that,
That
originally I moved from desperation to inspiration. Inspiration saying, I know that I know that I know. And you all hear this all the time at events, at conference, that there are people out there praying for an answer. People are praying every single day for an answer to their health concerns or their financial challenges. Our job, our mission is to go out there and identify them, find out what people need. That's, asking questions. And if that's another thing I've learned along the way, is to ask more questions. Stop talking, stop telling, and start asking. I don't know what else to say about it. But the more questions you ask, more people will tell you what you need to know and how to best serve them and help them.
Okay, it's Reagan. I have a
That
question.
answer.
One of the things that I've really gained knowledge about from you is keeping things simple. And I know that, it seems like just when we start doing something in our company, all of a sudden something else comes along and people try to complicate it. It's just the way it is. But would you share a little bit more about keeping things simple and why that works?
Well, obviously, if we complicate things and we all are we're getting confused and we get misdirected. Simple is we add customers and we create and go to events and we build team. I don't know any way else to put it. I think the banner that our team's going to pick up for this coming year is momentum, establishing momentum and advancing momentum, and just have that as our simple banner. And under that banner, we add customers. We add 24 Trio orders. We simplify and unify. And I heard that at conference, and I really like that. I forget who said it, and I wrote it down, that to simplify and unify. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute who said that, out of Texas. And she said that every Monday night when she gets on her team call, she reminds her team that our goal or our mission is to create a solid qualifying business with 24 Trio customers and help people get to fast track to sales coordinator as soon as possible. Those are the two things we do over and over again. If you focus on those two things, ain't nothing bad ever going to happen to you. And I don't know if that answers your question or not, Reagan.
That's what
but keeping it as simple as possible. Simple as, and I pick that up and I go, like, every Monday night when I get on my call, which is going to be here in 30 minutes for me, for my team, we simplify and we unify. And the two things we do is we create a qualifying business with 24 Trio customers, and we help people get to fast track to sales coordinator. And that's what we do.
Love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was great. Anybody else?
Ooh,
Hi. Anybody else have a question?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Sorry, we can't hear you. We have somebody brand new. This is a brand new team member, Denise. You guys say welcome. We'll get her on here next week before the call starts. But you're gonna have a lot of fun getting to know her. This was a fantastic call. We will get the recording posted ASAP, and let's make sure we hand deliver this message to team members. Let's listen to it again because there were so many good nuggets. I know I'm gonna write down some things in Voxer. This is a call we can, I think, refer to forevermore. This is the nuts and bolts of how you really think about doing this business so that you can, think about this, you guys. She saw it. She saw the vision. She could be a millionaire. She could really give back, bless, do all these things. And she's been living it for decades. This is awesome. Thank you, Sharron.
Thank you, Ellen.
Oh my gosh, I love you. I cannot wait to see you. I'm going out to their boot camp. I can't wait.
Yes, you are, and I'm excited for you to come and shine your light for us in the South over here.
Well, get ready, because like with me, we jump on the beds. We get excited and we jump on the beds. So get ready.
That's right.
Okay.
Everybody unmute and thank Sharron, please.
Yes, give her a big thank you. Thank you, Miss Sharron.
thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you, Ellen, for asking me. Blessings.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have an awesome week.
Good week.